Alligator Graham Bell, written and illustrated by Andrew Toffoli. Alligator Graham Bell, an ingenious reptile, was born in Edinburgh, Scotland in 1847. As a young alligator, Al was always fascinated by how people produced sound. Al's father was a great inspiration. He worked with the deaf, and his invention of visible speech would spark Al's interest in communication. Al exclaimed, "When I grow up, I want to be just like my pop. I will teach and invent until I reach the top." Al became a teacher for the deaf and worked on experiments in the summertime. One of these experiments was to figure out how humans transmit sound. Al began to read, and the work of von Helmholtz planted a seed. After reading, Al wanted to experiment with words being transmitted by a wire. For help, Thomas Watson was hired. Al and Tom were fascinated by the telegraph. It was a machine that sent sounds by a wire to places all over the world. But Al and Tom were not content with just sounds. To send words would be profound. So Al and Thomas began to work on a machine that sent the sound of a person's voice over a wire. So they worked and worked and worked until they assembled a prototype for the telephone. It was time for the big test. Al spoke these words into the telephone. "Mr. Watson, come here. I want to see you." And in the other room, with his ear pressed next to the receiver, Thomas could not believe his ear. He heard every word, and it made them cheer. The celebration would have to be postponed as they rushed to Washington, D.C. to get the patent for their telephone. Others had been working on the same invention, you see, but Al and Tom made it first, luckily. The United States government gave Al and Tom the patent. The patent gave them the exclusive right to make, use, and sell the telephone. Next, Al and Tom went to Philadelphia for the World's Fair, and they showed the telephone to all who were there. Scientists and inventors from all over the world could not believe their eyes and gave the telephone the grand prize. Before Al put the telephone in the mail, he improved it and then put it for sale. The telephone was now shaped like a box, and it could send your voice over many city blocks. People stood in lines for days. The Bell Telephone Company could not keep up with the craze. Even though your loved ones lived far away, with the telephone you could talk to them any time of the day. By 1900, Al had installed 800,000 telephones in the United States. Alligator Graham Bell's curiosity, perseverance, patience, and problem-solving led to the creation of the most revolutionary invention of all time, the telephone. The end.